Alright, we're Group 3A with the script Cell Block Z. Now in Cell Block Z there are many archetypes, and we identified 4 specifically. We have the Shadow, who is the Warden, the Herald, which in the second script is the guy in bars, and specifically the former guard, the Shapeshifters, which we said were the guards, and also the obvious hero, which is Ted.
Okay, so a lot of the characters remain throughout both scripts. We have the hero still, and he's identical. He doesn't change as much. We have the Shadow still, and he's the Warden. He's a little more like sinister in this one, but not much. Just a couple little things that make him a little more evil. We have the Herald again, this time, rather than like a person who has no lines and somebody who just you see, which gives information. We have somebody who has lines and says, like, you don't want to be here, welcome to hell, stuff like that. Later on, that Herald becomes an ally, actually. He's set free by Ted, and he helps Ted escape. Another person is added in the second one, an ally. He's a freakish beast zombie, and he is used to help kill the Warden when they escape.
Yeah, we said that adding these allies in the second script really helped to balance this sphere, rather than just having the Warden and his henchmen as the guards, which end up being shapeshifters. The hero now has allies to just balance the forces a little bit better. So basically, Ted, I think, does follow somewhat of a hero's journey, but also the archetypal characters that show up in the script do show up basically at the times that they should throughout the script. So in the first threshold right here, the Herald shows up as the former guard in the second script, and the just man in prison in the first script. The Shadow shows up perhaps just a bit earlier in the script than right here on this diagram. But he basically is in every single threshold just like he should be based on this diagram. Also, the allies show up in the second threshold, moving into the third threshold, which also matches this model. And as you can see, the Herald also, going back, does continue to show up and have a significant impact on the script continuing on.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have Sid Field's list. He has professional, personal, and private as his 3 categories. We're going to go with Ted, and as far as professional goes, he has the same job, it's the same place, same situation in both scripts, so that stays the same. As far as personal goes, in the first one, it's established early on via a phone call that he has a daughter and possibly a wife or ex-wife, either way. In the second one, it's just a name at the end of the script. It says Sophie, and that leaves you open-ended. You don't know who that is. It could be literally anybody with the name Sophie. As far as private goes, he doesn't have much alone time. He is in a cell for a little bit, but he doesn't have much to do. But other than that, when he's in his private, he contacts somebody via a cell phone, whether it's a loved one or somebody we don't know.
And for Williams, basically the public life stays the same. His personal life is that he has a family, that is revealed, and it also is revealed in the first script that he has many military accolades, which kind of makes him more personal to the audience. And as far as his private life goes, what people may say about him, he's most credible when he's talking to his daughter in the first script, because there's not much other private info that we have about this character that we're supposed to identify with and want to see go through this hero's journey.
Yeah, the daughter gives him reason to escape more than the second one, where we don't know where his true intentions of escaping are, just besides living.
Which we'll talk about in the next question. far as Ted's motivation, his objectives, his intentions, and his urgency in the script, those do stay the same for the most part. However, there are slight variations between the first and second script. The first one really establishing those motivations, objectives, intentions a lot better than the second script does. In the first script, Ted is very relatable. He's a war hero, he has a family, and he's taking this basically shit job in order to support his family. Because we know, because he calls home, that he has a daughter and he has a girlfriend back at home. So in his motivation is to get back to his family in the first script. However, in the second script, it's depersonalized quite a bit because he just wants to escape as his motivation. His objective, first script, it is money before the midpoint and his family after the midpoint. However, in the second script, it is simply to work before the midpoint and then just to escape after the midpoint. Going on to his intention, in the first script, he needs money for his family, and then he needs to get back to his family. In the second script, he just needs a job, and then he just needs to escape for his own survival, making it just a lot more depersonalized once again. And as far as his urgency goes, it is the same in both scripts, just to get out as soon as possible before the zombies tear his head off.
Yeah, and then we have the warden, who is the shadow. His motivation is a little more unclear. We don't know much about him, but we can assume that his motivations are just money, which is the same thing as power. So we would give his motivation as power, since he has a high position, a good job. His objective is, at the start of it, really is to show the aggression of the prison. By making Ted shoot somebody early on, he wants to see how well Ted can actually perform there. Later on, his objective becomes to keep Ted there because Ted's now seen what the place is like. And that leads to his intention, which is he does not want people to know what the prison is like outside. So he has to keep people in. Once they're there for life. His urgency, again, was a little unclear, but it was really just to keep himself safe in both scripts. A little bit different situation. Both had the cure, in which he was willing just to not give to people unless his life was at stake. And also by not letting people escape, he's keeping himself safe by not exposing how bad it is to the outside world.
He very selfishly is just trying to stay alive. And I think that's really the basic structure of this character creation in this script. We really do get a lot of different archetypal characters in such a short script, which is why I think that it's a decent script. There are some improvements that can definitely be made, but as far as character creation goes, this script does a good job of establishing the archetypes and how they all fit together. Thank you.